So the latest Marvel Legends Agent Venom figure is here, and while it's looking pretty sweet, I'm not quite sure about the body mold itself. The weapon accessories are looking pretty solid, so let's take a closer look and see what his kit has to offer. Hey, what's up guys, this is Ben and welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be diving into the new Agent Venom figure from the Spider-Man Retro Wave, right? This features Agent Venom in his classic black and white costume and not the Agent or anti-Agent Venom, right? Now what's cool is this is a new figure and design, and although it looks pretty sweet, we have to take closer look at the body and kind of see what the differences are between this and the former 90s version. It does come in a retro packaging here that you can see, and includes the other figures on the back as part of the wave. It doesn't come with a BAF or anything like that because it's just a standard wave, and overall the packaging looks pretty solid. And let's take a closer look at the actual figure. Now let's go ahead and unbox this bad boy and kind of see some more details of the figure and the body itself. Right, again, retro packaging, so you can just rip the box open and kind of pull them out this way. The layout of the package is pretty decent, standard at what you get on your retro sort of series. Right, you get the hand molds here on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, you get a collection of his cool firearms, right? You also have that additional head mold on the top, which is his masked head mold because his unmasked comes with the figure. So go ahead and pull him out here. Give him a good push. Right, so initial design thoughts are it's pretty solid so far. Really like the paint applications that they've added here in terms of the white. I've heard that some folks have had some bad paint jobs on their figures. This one looks, pretty standard and okay. Symmetrical and straight on the lines. A lot of nice sculpts on the actual molding of the arms, especially with those spikes sticking out, like on the forearms, on the biceps and whatnot, right? So I really like those spikes there. Really nice utility belt here as well. You can kind of see the details from the pockets to the buttons there. So really did a pretty decent job there on the belt. They also have these materials that keep the halter up, which is good, wrapped around nicely and tight around his thighs to give him a more variable look. Again, you get more spikes on the boots there on the front hand side. That stand out really well. On the back, he doesn't have a peg hole, unfortunately, so you can't add certain things to his back, like a tendril or pair of tendrils, which we'll talk more about later. Backside looks good on the elbows there, again, with the cool spikes and the lines on his biceps. Back of the boots, standard again, a lot of good cuts there when sculpting in terms of the actual lines themselves. And you got this extra sort of mold or sculpt there around the boots, which is good. Right, head mold looks pretty solid as well. He does have a closed mouth, doesn't have an open mouth, which is okay. Otherwise, the head sculpt is pretty cool. Hair looks nice. I like the way they've been able to carve that out and give him a nice hairstyle there, and really good blonde paint application as well as the skin as well. So the head mold also just has a nice look and feel and lifelike look to Flash Thompson from the comics. So pretty decent job overall on the body and the design. Next, moving on to accessories, let's go ahead and take a look at his helmet here, or rather his additional head mold. The design looks pretty standard. It feels a little flat though on the back and top of the head, which is okay, but you do see some sculpting there around the mouth and nose area. So it didn't really add too much on the back, but the front side does look pretty good. You can visibly see his expression and grin, which is nice, and nice yellow or rather white paint application around his eyes that stand out well, right? Nice and even. So pretty decent mask, but not much to it, right? In terms of the hand molds, this is his like claw hand molds, right? Where you kind of like grabbing things or clawing someone. So these look really nice in terms of the actual scale of them. Fingers were done very well and how they change in variable size and length. All right, good paint application as well on the backside with the white. Again, you can sort of see how the fingers split apart, which is good. So nice clean look there. In terms of the next accessories, these are the closed fists. Pretty standard fists that you see in almost all Legends figures, right? They have closed gaps in between the actual fingers themselves when they're making the fist. But you do see some nice sculpting on the actual wrist area, which is nice, and palms. And then again, standard white sort of rectangular paint application on the backside to represent where his webs come out, right? Now, next, moving on to the firearms. These are actually reissues from, I think, Action Force figures, right, that we've seen in the past, right? This is his, I don't know if it's an M60, but it is a heavy machine gun. Pretty nice details, again, that we've seen before. A lot of nice lines and cuts on the mold itself. Looks really accurate and to the real life model, I guess you can say, in terms of what it should look like. So you get some details also on the scope and the top frame here, which look nice. You can also see where the handle is. So really good in terms of that actual feel and look of that firearm. This is the pistol here. Not much to it again. They do have some nice cuts there, especially around the grip area and the back handle, which is nice, right? You can kind of see where they actually added some additional molding there or sculpting there on the mold. Otherwise, you've seen it in the past. And it does look pretty clean, but I'm not sure if this really fits Agent Venom because I don't know if he uses this type of pistol. At least not that I've seen, but pretty good set of accessories overall. Next, moving on to his articulation. Let's go ahead and take a look at his body movement. Right, head turns pretty good, left to right, forward and back. Right, gets some good movement there. Side tilt is pretty good, right? Actually gets some good tilt there and good full rotation all the way around on his head. Moving to his laterals, right? You can see here that you kind of lift his arms all the way to the side at the 180-degree mark. You just got to push through those shoulder pads a little bit, but he does get to the straight line. Good rotation overall on the joint of his shoulders. Get full, all the way around 360, which is good. Doesn't get stuck or falter anywhere. Arm bands are pretty good. Joints feel a little stiff, but you can move them, bend them rather pretty easily. Wrist joints are pretty good in standard, right? Good movement there. Good movement on rotation on the actual biceps. He does not feature any butterfly joints. Now, ab crunch is okay. Doesn't move too much or as much as I would have liked. And it's kind of on the top. He does get good rotation though at the chest area, but his ab crunch is not as low as I would have liked. Also, the split is pretty good here in terms of getting close to 180 degrees. Good thigh rotation here, both left and right side. Knee bends are pretty solid as well. Joints don't feel that stiff, which is good. You can kind of click right through it. It doesn't feel like it's going to snap, which is nice. Toe, or rather ankle movement is limited. Don't get too much here in terms of getting it up and down. Don't also get that rotation on the actual ankle itself. So it's a little limited there. Again, back you can see how, what it looks like when he's moving his ab crunch. Again, which feels a little high. But generally speaking, articulation is okay. The ab area is not as nice as the 90s version, but pretty decent movement overall. Next, let's take a quick look at some of these accessories swapped, right? So we'll go ahead and pop off Flash Thompson's head here and connect the masked version. That way you can kind of see what it looks like on the figure body itself. So you just got to push through a little hard here. You can see it gets a little stuck, but once you kind of get that on there, it clamps right in. So there you go. So this is what the masked version looks like. I did already swap out the hands to the pistol holding ones. For the pistol, you can just pop it here in the holster as just an example. Obviously, you guys can pose who are much better than me at doing so. And you kind of just get that movement there. Here, this is him holding his heavy machine gun. And kind of just see what it looks like on the figure body itself. So the accessories look good. Again, he is missing tendrils, unfortunately. Firearms look pretty decent for a pair of them. Head mold looks okay. But again, it doesn't have tendrils, unfortunately, that I wish you could maybe at least add to a back peg hole or something or wrapped around his arms, right? Otherwise, accessories look pretty good on his body overall. So thanks for joining me today to explore the new Marvel Legends Agent Venom figure from the Spider-Man Retro Wave. Right, this figure is available now and has been sold for, I think, a few weeks. Also, it'll be easy to get your hands on them and retails for around $25. Right, really decent figure overall and remake. Right, the body is a little slimmer than the 90s version and is lacking a little movement around the ab area. But overall, the accessories are pretty decent, even the reissues, the paint applications, and overall figure is pretty good. So I definitely think it's worth your money, especially if you're a fan of Agent Venom, right? But definitely let me know in the comments if he stands out to you and whether you'd be picking him up. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more content and the coolest Marvel figures around. Until next time, folks, keep on collecting.